Tonight, we look to the skies, where a seismic shift is underway. For decades, aviation was a battle between Boeing and Airbus. But in China, the landscape is changing at breathtaking speed. Strategic decisions and the rise of a new domestic player have created a perfect storm. China is no longer just a customer. It's a creator, a competitor, and a global force. The great aviation power shift has begun. To understand today's upheaval, we must look back. Boeing's relationship with China began in 1972 after President Nixon's historic visit. China's first order of Boeing jets marked the start of a long, prosperous partnership. As China's economy soared, so did its demand for air travel, and Boeing was there every step. Boeing became the backbone of Chinese aviation, supplying fleets of 737s, 747s, and 777s. This was more than a buyer-seller relationship. Boeing invested in training, infrastructure, and technology transfer. By the early 2000s, Boeing planes dominated China's skies. 1 in 4 jets off its assembly line went to China. China was Boeing's largest international customer, supporting tens of thousands of American jobs. This economic interdependence became a cornerstone of US-China relations. But China always had a long-term vision: technological self-sufficiency. While relying on Boeing and Airbus, China was learning, absorbing technology, and building expertise. Leaders knew dependence on foreign suppliers was a vulnerability. Quietly, China laid the groundwork for its own aviation industry. The Dream, a Chinese-designed plane carrying passengers across the nation, and, one day, the world. That dream was steadily becoming reality. The seeds of change were planted decades ago. Now they're bearing fruit. Boeing wasn't alone in eyeing China. Airbus saw the opportunity too. Initially the underdog, Airbus took a different approach, building deep industrial partnerships. In 2008, Airbus opened its first final assembly line outside Europe, in Tianjin, China. This was a game changer, signaling Airbus's commitment to China's industrial ambitions. The Tianjin facility created local jobs, transferred skills, and gave China a stake in Airbus's success. Unlike Boeing's cautious approach, Airbus embraced collaboration. The strategy paid off. Airbus steadily gained market share, with Chinese airlines placing larger orders. The A320 family became a direct rival to Boeing's 737. By the late 2010s, Airbus had reached parity with Boeing in China. This success was built on patient diplomacy and strategic investment. Airbus aligned with China's national goals, weathering political storms better than its American rival. As US-China tensions rose, Airbus was seen as a more reliable partner. Years of relationship building positioned Airbus perfectly for the coming shift. The stage was set for a new era in China's aviation market. Enter COMAC, the Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China. Founded in 2008, its mission break the Boeing-Airbus duopoly. Beijing poured resources into COMAC, aiming to build a world-class passenger jet. The C919 was born from this ambition, overcoming years of technical hurdles and skepticism. In May 2023, the C919 completed its first commercial flight, a moment of national pride. Certified for domestic flights, the C919 directly challenges Boeing's 737 MAX and Airbus's A320neo. Chinese airlines, all state-controlled, have placed hundreds of orders, guaranteeing COMAC a strong customer base. While still reliant on Western engines and avionics, the C919's airframe is a domestic achievement. The era of the duopoly is over. China now has a homegrown competitor. COMAC's rise is the ultimate expression of China's long-term strategy for aviation independence. The world is watching as China takes flight on its own terms. The shift from Boeing didn't happen overnight, but recent events accelerated it. The Boeing 737 MAX crisis, 2 crashes, global grounding, shook confidence. China was first to ground the MAX and last to recertify, deepening mistrust. During Boeing's troubles, Airbus and COMAC surged ahead. In 2022, China's Big Three airlines ordered nearly 300 Airbus A320neos, a $37 billion deal. Massive orders for COMAC's C919 soon followed, with each major airline committing to 100 jets. Meanwhile, Boeing's order book in China has gone quiet. Ongoing production and quality issues at Boeing's U.S. plants have only worsened the situation. Chinese regulators are vocal about safety concerns, emphasizing caution in future purchases. The numbers tell the story. China's market is decisively pivoting away from Boeing. The message is clear: trust and preference have shifted. China's pivot to Airbus and COMAC is about more than business. It's geopolitics. Aircraft sales were once a key pillar of U.S.-China trade, helping offset the trade deficit. As China reduces reliance on Boeing, that economic link weakens, giving Beijing more leverage. Awarding contracts to Airbus strengthens China's ties with Europe, creating new diplomatic dynamics. European jobs now depend on Chinese orders, complicating EU-US unity on China policy. The rise of COMAC is a direct challenge to Western dominance in aviation. The C919 offers other nations a non-Western alternative, potentially shifting global alliances. This new reality forces a strategic rethink in Washington. The loss of market share impacts not just Boeing, but American influence and prestige. Policymakers face tough questions: how to compete, rebuild trust, and protect national interests. The aviation chessboard is more complex than ever. The skies are now a battleground for global influence. The economic consequences are immense. For Boeing, losing China means lower revenues, profits, and a challenging future. The Chinese market was projected to need over 8,500 new planes, worth $1.5 trillion. The impact ripples through Boeing's vast U.S. supply chain, threatening thousands of jobs. Aircraft sales once helped narrow the U.S.-China trade deficit. That contribution is shrinking. For Airbus, China's orders are a massive boon, securing jobs and solidifying its position as the world's top plane maker. Success in China funds Airbus's next-generation eco-friendly aircraft. Meanwhile, China's strategy is clear: build a high-tech, globally competitive aerospace industry. Promoting COMAC is part of the Made in China 2025 initiative. The long-term goal: full self-sufficiency, high-paying jobs, and technological innovation. Every new COMAC jet is a step toward economic sovereignty. The stakes are high for all sides. Billions and the future of global aviation are in the balance. What does this mean for aviation's future? The era of the duopoly is over. We're now in a three-way race, at least in the narrow-body market. COMAC's C919 is a credible first step. The upcoming C929 wide-body will be the next test. More competition could mean better prices and more choices for airlines and passengers. COMAC's presence puts pressure on Boeing and Airbus to innovate and lower prices. But challenges remain. Boeing must rebuild trust and fix quality issues. COMAC must scale up, prove reliability, and seek international certification. Airbus must deliver on its backlog and navigate complex politics. The future will be defined by competition on price, performance, and public trust. The skies are open, but the race is tougher than ever. The next chapter in aviation is just beginning. We stand at a pivotal moment in flight's history. The skies, once ruled by two Western giants, now welcome a powerful new force from the East. China's shift from Boeing to Airbus and COMAC reflects a changing world and shifting power. The decisions made today will shape the planes we fly and the jobs we hold for generations. For the US, it's a wake-up call. For Europe, an opportunity. For China, a triumph. The C919 is more than an aircraft. It's a symbol of national ambition. The great aviation power shift affects us all, whether we fly or not. The ground beneath the industry has shifted. A new era of competition has dawned. The race for safer, faster, and greener aircraft is on, and the world is watching. The story of aviation is still being written. The next chapter promises to be the most compelling yet.